Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Bubalo, and I'm one of the two directors of Globally Speaking in Rome. I would imagine that many of you are joining us from Rome. The TESOL convention traditionally took place in Rome, but I know that there are also teachers joining us from other areas in Italy. And so thank you all for joining us. Globally Speaking has been a proud sponsor of TESOL Italy since the early days of Globally Speaking. We opened in 2013, and we've been sponsors and we've been presenting at the conference for many years. We believe in the TESOL Association and supporting it and the teachers who participate. Globally Speaking is a language school, Cambridge English Exam Center, and Cambridge Teaching Qualification Center. We opened in 2013 after 20-year experience in an English language school in an American university in Rome. And since then, we've been working a lot with schools, in particular, preparing for Cambridge exams and doing language development courses for teachers. And in particular, for CLIL teachers, we've been involved in a lot of the projects for language development teachers, language development courses for teachers as well, which we feel very strongly about. So Michelle gave a presentation yesterday on differentiation. Some of you may have seen it. And today I'm here just basically to talk to you a little bit about who we are and what we do and how we can support teachers and your students as well. So just by starting to say that our mission is to support our students in achieving their goals, whether those be personal, professional, or academic, both in Italy and abroad, and that is the greatest sense of satisfaction for us. So we know that we have a similar mission to the listeners because teachers also choose this profession for reasons of that kind. So what kind of courses do we do? We do both online courses and face-to-face courses. Most of our adult courses since the pandemic have been online, much like TESOL, whereas our teen and young learner courses have come back face-to-face because we feel strongly about the fact that human interaction should be face-to-face. However, with teachers all over the country joining us for our courses, since the pandemic, we decided to make this move. Of course, if people are interested in face-to-face courses, those can also be organized. All of our courses are basically mapped to the Common European Framework. So we have 60-hour modules, which can be divided into smaller modules, 20, 40, or 60-hour courses. Most of our courses are evening courses, once a week or twice a week for the semi-intensive courses. For teachers, we feel strongly about the fact that teachers should be able to find an affordable course. And in fact, one of our courses is the raffle prize for the TESOL conference. We've been doing this for a couple of years as well, and allowing teachers or somebody in their family to attend one of our courses for free. But generally speaking, we find that the pricing is quite accessible for teachers. They can use their Carta Docente, of course. So our 60-hour courses are €830, whereas for teachers, whether they're paying with the Carta Docente or not, it's €590. And that's all inclusive. We're also present on the Sophia platform. So Globally Speaking is also an ISLE school. You may be aware ISLE has also been very often a sponsor of TESOL. And so being an ISLE school, we are part of this association and the Italian Association of Quality Language Schools. It's a very strong association, both from a didactic and administrative perspective in terms of ensuring quality. We have a lot of colleagues from the ISLE Association who I think are here today as well. And this means that our courses can be uploaded to the Sophia platform so that any kind of training that you do through us can be recognized in your portfolio. So as I said, we also do semi-intensive courses for Cambridge preparation. These can be 20 or the full 40-hour modules. These are often for students or teachers who are looking to achieve a qualification in a short time. Perhaps they've done a course but don't feel quite ready. So the course is designed to support the students in achieving that particular certification. They're 2 times a week, generally speaking, in the evening, either Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays or Thursdays. And being 20-hour modules, it's a short 5-week course or 10 weeks in order to sort of give you that last push to achieve the qualification. I'm going to look in a chat box. I see a couple. Oh, I see Lucy has said hello, and I have a visitor from the Ukraine. I'm actually currently attending a course with Denial called Trainer Development, and I have a lot of colleagues from the Ukraine who I've got in touch with. So if you'd like to put your email address also in the chat box, I'll save that for future contacts. So going on here, we also have conversation courses, which are nice for English language teachers to join as well. We generally have quite a high level in the conversation courses, in particular because people who have achieved B2 or C1 qualification sometimes don't necessarily want to go on to get a higher qualification, a C2, for example. And they just want to sort of maintain their English and have a learning context where they can practice their spoken English in a quite informal way, but also structured to continue to maintain and build a vocabulary and speaking skills. So that's the way we design our conversation courses. They're 20 hours, but you can join at any time because basically each lesson is a once-off topic. We're also a CELTA center. I'm sure that most teachers are familiar with the CELTA qualification. We feel that it really is the best qualification. We look at it critically as well. We try to ensure that CELTA is staying relevant in today's world. And so at the moment, we're offering both face-to-face and online courses. And we try to ensure that the CELTA course is de-stressed as much as possible because it has a reputation for being a very stressful course. It is a very demanding and challenging course. Lucy is here with us, and I'm sure she can confirm that we do our best to support our trainees. It's also a very practical qualification, so there is a lot of interaction with students. If you're interested, you can have a look at our website and look at the information about what the course entails in terms of assignments. For example, there are 4 assignments, but I wouldn't say that is the most challenging or stressful part. Perhaps the most difficult is teaching live students and being observed. But this is also the kind of training and development we need to improve our teaching, to reflect on our teaching. And Lucy is saying in the chat box, yes, challenging, but really, really useful. Absolutely. So when we have even young teachers who apply to us, we require CELTA, and we also recommend that they do the CELTA with us in order to support them in their training fully and ensure that also we have a quality product in our school. So we enjoy training up young teachers. We enjoy working with state school teachers as well. We have worked with a number of state school teachers who have decided to take the plunge and do the CELTA. As it isn't required of them, it really takes a motivated teacher who's interested in ensuring that she develops as a teacher and is a reflective practitioner, as they say. So I find that those kinds of teachers, and there are plenty of them in Italy, are the ones who are really willing to sort of take a critical look at their work. As in Italy, we're in a quite formal and traditional educational context. And CELTA will really kind of shake up your ideas about teaching and give you some really quality input to review what you're doing and continue improving. Yes, I have Irina is saying that she's also studied with Niall. Yes. So just perhaps a final word about the CELTA here is that it's a challenging course and it's also quite selective. So if you're thinking about doing it, I would suggest you make an application. You can find the application on our webpage. And the application process will also help you to understand a little bit about what the qualification is like and what the course entails, so that you can kind of gauge whether you're ready for it and when would be the right time. I will say one more word about this. I've been reading a lot lately about expertise and how expertise is developed in a field. And it's really interesting that expertise has been researched and found that it is achieved after about 10 years. Regardless, so I think we can agree that teaching is a challenging profession where you need to be fully invested. And I think that the CELTA is a qualification that can really push you along that climb to ensure that your expertise is complete. So another Cambridge qualification, which may be interesting for some of the English teachers also that are following us, although they aren't always directly involved in CLIL, especially if they're high school teachers. The ministry has called for a CLIL team, meaning that in many, many schools, teachers who feel qualified and are essentially qualified for CLIL teaching with a C1 qualification and a methodology course are sort of short in number. And so that's why the ministry has sort of approved in a transitional phase the collaboration of a CLIL team, including external experts, so language schools or language professionals, but also English teachers on the team to support the CLIL teachers. And so I think that the TKT CLIL qualification can give you the understanding of the theoretical underpinnings that are supportive of CLIL methodology. Essentially, if you have a physics teacher or a history teacher who's required to teach through the medium of English, even if they have language competence, they may not really have the methodological knowledge, whereas language teachers do, because CLIL in its essence is really language teaching methodology applied to another subject. And so this means that language teachers are the best equipped to support subject teachers. And unfortunately, we were really on a great sort of trajectory of training and development for CLIL teachers in Italy when the pandemic occurred and everything sort of shifted to online teaching and training teachers to deliver lessons online. And rightly so, many teachers did not feel ready or equipped to do the online teaching. So the investment in time and money and training was all shifted. And so I think that now that we've adjusted and we're back in the classroom for the most part, and we're also comfortable with teaching and holding conferences online, meeting online, recouping lessons online, allowing students to follow hybrid if they're home in quarantine. I think that now is the time to look back at CLIL because I think that it is a great methodology. I see a question coming in. Yeah, I'll address that in a moment. Thank you, Irina, for your question. This is sort of the end here for me. So we're also a Cambridge English Qualifications Center. And obviously we hold sessions for teachers in our own center, in our venues, but we also organize sessions for schools. So if you're interested in enrolling a group of students, you can contact us, or if you are interested in organizing a session at your school, you can contact us at esami@globallyspeaking.it. Now, obviously there are requirements for the necessary conditions to hold an exam session in your school. But generally speaking, schools have the conditions that are needed, desks, for example, the distances, quality audio systems. These are the basics. And if you have a minimum number of candidates, we feel quite strongly about the fact that it's important to allow students to sit the exam in an environment that is comfortable for them so that they can really do their best. So this is the contact page. I've got a couple of minutes left, so I think I can take some questions here. So Irina is saying they're going to launch courses in the university for university subject teachers. And what is the typical duration of courses at a B1 and a B2 level? Irina, if you mean simply for language development, the Council of Europe recommends between 120 and 180 hours of language training in order to achieve a qualification. So this is sort of a general figure that they give. Of course, every learner has a different profile, but we do 60-hour modules because we assume that students will do 2 years of practice. So for example, if they have a B1 qualification and they want to get to B2, they do 2 60-hour courses. And in terms of materials, we've been very, very happy with Cambridge materials. Of course, Cambridge has the insight from the research that they do, also based on the learner corpus, which is essentially all of the language that comes out of the actual exams from learners. So they can identify what issues can cause problems most on exam day, and create the learning materials that will support learners throughout their journey. And obviously also all of the research that goes into the exam content also feeds content. So now that Cambridge is one organization, Cambridge Learning and Assessment has finally merged to become one, I think that we will find that those materials are most effective. And the last question is, do you think TKT CLIL is appropriate for EMI university teachers as a basics and pedagogy and specificity of teaching and using English? Yes, I do. In fact, Irina, we trained teachers for the TKT CLIL qualification before they did the university methodology course. And all of those teachers who subsequently did the university course said that the TKT CLIL was really valuable to them, and that it also supported them in their methodology course. So it is basically a theoretical course. The exam is 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's all multiple choice. It's all theory. So there is no practical element like for the CELTA. But it really gives them a strong basis, starting from basically every perspective of being able to deliver CLIL modules. Yes, she simply meant, as far as I caught, 120 includes self-study and online in class. Well, you know, as I said, the Council of Europe says between 120 and 180 hours. So in our case, we take the minimum baseline, 120 hours, 2 60-hour courses. But of course, those can be integrated with some self-study. And of course, as we all know, as language teachers, you know, they can make the difference, individual learners. Going to look in the chat box. Yes, okay, lovely. So I think that's it. I think I've taken all the questions. Thank you all for joining me. It was lovely to be able to talk to you a little bit about globally speaking, and do contact us for any of your language needs or methodology needs. We'd be happy to have you join us. Bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
You said that the road to happiness was long and winding. You said that the forest would get dark, and that the ground could shift here upon this hill we're climbing. No matter how close we get, we're still so far. But I trust we'll find the clearing. I'm trusting the trail. No matter what we're feeling, there's one way we can't fail. Let's just keep hiking. Let's plant our feet. Let's just keep hiking. Keep hiking with me. Hold my hand, baby. Keep hiking with me. You said the road up to success was an impossible test unless we had some sort of map. And I could feel it in my chest just as our feet begged us to rest. I think this just might be the end of that. But I said I trust we'll find the clearing. I'm trusting the trail. No matter what we're feeling, there's one way we can't fail. Let's just keep hiking. Let's plant our feet. Let's just keep hiking. Keep hiking with me. Hold my hand.